story time with Dudski. Well, I mean, I'm still driving. I'm still on the road to North Dakota to visit my buddy. So I decided to make a third one, right? Keep myself awake and hopefully keep you guys entertained, right? I mean, it's pretty cold out here. That's the reason why I wanted to do this one, is because it kind of reminded me of the weather the first time I went up. But let's reconnect to what we were the last one. I left off of setting up, getting all of our equipment ready to go fishing. Okay, so when everything is all said and done, we have everything pretty much fixed. You know, things are gonna happen, things might still break, what have you, but when the season is right about to open, we have to have our sites prepared, our actual land, the territory, the little spot that we have for the fishing, okay? So what we do is we get what we call, well, what are called screw anchors, okay? So this is literally a long pipe. On the bottom, on one side, it's like a screw, and on the top, it has like a little hole, like a needle, okay? So what we do with those is we literally screw in those anchors all the way to the top, to the brim, to that little opening needle spot. And those things are about probably, I don't know, maybe 5 feet tall, maybe 5.5, 6 the most. So we get those, dig those deep down, because those are literally what the nets, excuse me, those are what the nets are gonna be tied on to, okay? If we don't screw those in correctly, the tide, believe it or not, will demolish one of those things. And I mean, like, it'll bend it out of shape, it'll literally pull it out from 6 feet under if we don't do it right, okay? That's the first step, is go out there, we measure everything, we make sure our sights are lined up, like where we're at, because if they fly overhead and we're not lined up to a certain spot, they might find us. So, I mean, Alan knows how to do all that. I go and I help him. We do our digging. We start putting in the screw anchors. So, now with the screw anchors is also a secondary thing, because we can swing out. For example, what I mean is, there's 2 screw anchors. So for the most part, we have the net between those 2 anchors. Now, we also can choose to pivot these nets. For example, on the tide, on the outer anchor, we can choose to swing the net out. Meaning, like, actually, that's what it means. Like, we can swing the net out, pivot it outwards. So instead of being in between the 2 anchors, it's on the outer side of the outside. Same thing with the inside anchor. We can swing it in. If it's going to be a big tide that's going to come all the way in, we can just swing it in and we catch the fish like that. It's all about techniques. You have to read the tide to see which one's going to be the better one that you want to pivot for. So we have that. Now, the nets, when you put them on, there's a certain tie, a knot that you have to learn. I forgot what it's called. I want to say a bowline, something like that. Bowline tie, something like that. Either way, you have to have certain knots, you have to learn, you have to tie the buoys, the floaty thingies to the anchors, all this good stuff, tie the net. Now when we're laying the net out, you have to tie it to one anchor, and with the 4-wheeler, you have a trailer in the back where the net is literally in. Now, these nets, they have 2 lines like connecting ropes, I guess you want to call them. One of them is a floating line, which buoys are connected. That's the one that stays above water. So when the water rises, the net rises, right? And then there's the lead line, which is what keeps the bottom part of the net down instead of floating up or floating away. these have a 10-pound lead line. So that's 300 feet of 10-pound lead line. Even at 10 feet of it, it gets really heavy. Okay, so we have these trailers to move everything in. And as we're laying them out, like there's a certain way that we put the nets in the trailer, so then when we're driving, behind us, the net is getting laid out for us, and all we have to do is just spread the net out, so when the water comes in, it's not tangled. I mean, I could go on and try to explain it, but like it'll be easier once you guys see the videos too. So we have the nets laid out, and that's pretty much it. As far as the fishing goes, we just wait for the tide. When we're supposed to know what time to go, they announce it on the radio the day before. They say we're gonna fish on a certain tide. Okay, so we look at the tide. How deep is the tide gonna be? Like, what time should we go out there? Set the nets before the tide, because we're not supposed to have the net out there all the time. I forgot to mention that. We're supposed to, as soon as we're done fishing on one tide, we pick up the nets and haul it back in. So right before the tide comes in, we have to go out there, put the net, come back, let the tide do its thing, and then come back at a certain time. So we have to strategize which one we're gonna, what time we're gonna come out, if we're gonna early, all that good stuff, right? When we're ready to go out, once we've decided all of that, we go out and, well, it's like a mile, our cabin is a mile away, about a mile and a half away from the site, from the actual fishing site down the beach. So we get there and, you know, we eyeball it, see if there's any fish jumping, and like, if there's a lot of fish jumping, we'll go in immediately. If not, we'll wait till the tide goes down a little bit, that way we don't have to struggle with the tide and if it's deep or whatnot, blah blah blah. The better part is, we're all prepared. We have these waterproof suits on that obviously or waders, I guess you want to call them. So we go into the water with these waders, chest deep pretty much, to go pick the fish out of the net. And there's certain ways to do it. I can't really explain how to do it. You guys will have to see that on the video itself. Those of you listening to the podcast, you know, go watch that video later on. But you have to get them out, and what we do is we get them out. Once we get them out, we pop the gills. What I mean by pop the gills is like we literally tear the gills so that the fish could bleed out. Now, that's the last time I went. I'm not sure if they're doing that still. From what I understood is to make it kosher. So a rabbi can bless it, I guess, and then they can eat it. I'm not exactly sure how that works. All I know is that they were paying more for us to do that, so we were doing that. I guess it works out. Anyways, so we get the fish off the net into this raft. So we're picking, we're throwing into the raft. Once the raft is full to a certain amount, depending on how the tide is, if it's crazy, a certain amount, halfway. If not, we'll fill it up. Once we fill it up, we take it back to shore as much as we can, and then we start unloading the fish from the raft into the trailer that has the brailer. Was that what it was called? I think I mentioned that earlier. The other story. Yeah, the brailers. So we put all the fish in there. Once all the fish from the raft are in there, the person driving the bike goes to the weigh station down the beach and gets that weighed out and gets the ticket and comes back. So while that person is doing that, the other one with the raft goes back and starts picking more fish. That way when they come back, there's more fish in the raft ready to go. See what I mean? So that's the process pretty much. And to be honest, like, that's all there is to it. As far as, you know, I'm elaborating a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, things that go in between, but the main points are those. We set up, we put our net out before the tide, we check the tides that we're working, we get ready, we go out, make sure all our equipment is up and ready to go. We fish, we weigh. Once the tide is out, we pick up the net, go back to the cabin, and we continue our day from there. Now, there are times, and every time I've gone, oh, I remember. Okay, so the first time I went up there, the weather was kind of like this, how it is around me right now. on the audio, guys, like I'm in freaking South Dakota. It's 51 degrees and it's raining. Alaska was like this probably 80% of the time the first time I went up there. There was only maybe, I think 3 or 4 good days. And when I mean good days, I mean the weather was like 75 degrees. Now in Texas, 75 degrees is fucking awesome. In Alaska, that's still pretty cool. That's still pretty brisk, okay? But those are good days. Now, when you're out there fishing, that first year, we had a nice little storm come in. It was raining pretty heavy. We were out there fishing. The tide was in. It was a good sized tide too. Probably about 40-mile-hour winds out on the beach. So and we had to fish like that a few times. But there is one specific night that I remember. And now this first time, my fishing partner was also new. Her name's Susie, right? She was new, a lady that she was a hard worker by what she would say. She would do a lot of, you know, a lot of things that not very many women would do. Like, for example, a lot of auto mechanics or, you know, diesel mechanics, because she would drive a diesel truck, she would fix them, do all this stuff, truck driver, all that cool stuff, right? Anyways, she would always say that she was doing a lot of man stuff. Anyways, so in this one night, she's holding the raft, and I don't remember what it was. Like, I don't think she was paying attention or something. And I'm picking the fish because I'm faster than her. I'm picking the fish because we want them out and done quick. She's holding the raft, and so I'm facing the net. She's kind of like behind me to the right, and as I'm facing the net picking out a fish, to my left at the corner of my eye, I see a wave, and I kind of half turn, and as soon as I see it, I accommodate my body to take the hit. And as I do that, I turn to Susie and I'm like, Susie, there's a big wave. You know, I yell at her, watch out. She hears me all late and she kind of turns like, huh? What happened? And she gets hit with the wave. Not only does she get hit, like it hit her, but the bigger part of the impact was to the raft. And this raft probably had like maybe 200 pounds of fish in it already. And so, and she's a little bit shorter than me too, so she's a stout little lady. Anyways, with that hit, like the wave knocked her off balance a little bit already. And then when the wave hit the raft, it pulled the raft and pulled her too. So she completely lost balance, holding on to the raft, and started going underwater. And at this point, I'm seeing this, and I can't even tell you a time frame of what this is happening. It was so quick. I'm looking at it, and if I were to like explain like how far away she was probably a good 10 feet away from me, and being pulled farther away, like towards shore. So by the time, so what I did, I saw that happening. I immediately reacted I took 2 big ass steps towards her. I don't know how far it was. All I know is that I took 2 big ass steps. I reached out. I took one more, planted myself, and one-handed like pulled her back by the back of her suit. Like I just grabbed the jacket, all like just like one big handful, just grabbed and pulled. I don't know how the hell. So I grabbed my other arm around her to pull her back up. She had let go of the raft, and without even without skipping a beat, like as soon as I saw her come up and take a breath, I let go and I took another 2 big steps, got the raft, planted, and pulled it back. Like, I don't know about you guys, I felt fucking superhuman at that point. That was pretty cool. But like, I mean, I don't know if you guys would too. Anyways, it was pretty cool. and like, she was like, oh, you saved my life. You know, I was already going under, and even Alan saw it, like she was going. If I wouldn't have done that, all the water would have gone into her suit, which, by the way, like I said, is waterproof. So water doesn't get in from the outside. So if you get water on the inside, that's it. It's not coming out. So she's gonna sink. And this water was freaking like 35, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold as hell. The wind chill factor was probably like in the mid 40s as well. So you can imagine, you know. And yeah, that's the reason why I wanted to say this, because like this weather reminded me of it. And since then, like I just remember, and I told that story, and I was like, fuck, you know, like it's pretty intense that how I guess I did save her life in a sense, because she would have gone under if I wouldn't have turned around and at least kind of have warned her and taken literal action steps to save her. You know, and that's just a crazy adventure that at that one fishing night that we had. But overall, all the fishing is the same. Like I said, set up, fish, tear down, go back to the cabin. You know, as I guess as these little stories go along, I'll remember more of the adventures that I did. You know, on both first and second ones. But I mean, a lot of it is going to be repetitive from the first and second years that I went. Of course, I'll tell you all which year was different, which one wasn't, but it's a lot of the same thing. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, you know, my little stories. I hope, you know, like, share them too. If you have any questions, ask me, man. Like, don't be afraid. Like, if you have that question in your head, like, I wonder, what do you mean by this? Or what does he mean by that? Or how the hell did that happen? Ask me, man. Like, even if I don't answer right away, like, put the comment on there. When I get back from Alaska this year, like, I hope to see some comments, you know, or some shares or something, you know, questions, like, hey, how'd it go? Because when I come back, there's going to be a lot of footage, and I mean a lot of footage that I'm going to be putting up. A lot of audios, everything. I'm going to put as much as I possibly can. Like, if I can turn this thing into a movie, I'm going to do it. Alright, well, that's it for this one. I don't know when I'm going to do the next one. Probably later tonight or tomorrow when I'm on the road again. But if you guys are enjoying this, you know, either way, add me on all social medias. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for your time. Stay tuned for the next one.